What's up, guys? This is Bullfire the Fell-Handed. I'm going to start diversifying my channel just a little bit at a time. Don't worry, World of Tanks players, that will still be my primary focus. Now, Crossout, I feel, is a good transition to WoT. It has a lot of the same mechanics. It's a driving shooting game, which is essentially all WoT is. So it's extremely fun, and it's a good game to play if you need a break from World of Tanks. Moving on. Now, I'm going to go through every single aspect of this game. This is the beginning vehicle they give you. And, you know, granted, it's not fantastic. It does, however, get the job done. Now, moving on, you can go to test anything you build. You can go to test. You can check it out to make sure, you know, you like it. You may want to make some small changes. You can assign your guns to different keys, so on and so forth. So it's very in-depth. And, you know, as far as the story goes of the game, there's not really a whole lot. It's Mad Max-esque. It's very post-apocalyptic. Now, as you see here, I am keying every individual weapon to exactly what I want it to be. Now, you cannot key it to the left shoulder because the left shoulder is your handbrake. That's your e-brake. So if you want to do a little slide, use the left shoulder. But as you see here, I can control each individual weapon with a separate button. Now, you can go to build, okay? What we're going to do is we are going to switch the wheels up here. So we originally had steering wheels on the front, okay? We are going to take these wheels and put the steering wheels on the back, just like a forklift. Now, in a moment, we're going to test it out, and you're going to see exactly what this does to the vehicle, because it makes it handle totally different. You know, forklift-like. But at the same time, it's kind of nimble. It's not so good for straight line, but it's good for close quarters, because you can really whip that thing around. I know some people, you know, the big heavy builds that don't move a lot use all steering wheels. So, something to think about for later. Now, what we're going to do here, guys, is, you know, we are going to go to the store, okay? The first thing you need to do is they are offering a free car, and it's pretty sexy. It's fast, it's buggy-like. Think Lunatics, which is the kind of speed demon, the most Mad Maxy of all the Mad Maxes, maybe, if that makes sense. People are going to be like, I've never seen that movie. You know what? It's okay. It's fine. I get it. Anyway, this pack right here is free. I will show you how to access it. You are going to go to the bottom right-hand corner with the little 3.5 floppy disk, the save key, for those of you that are not privy to what a 3.5 floppy disk is. You're going to go to packs. You're going to select said pack, and then from there on out you will hit load. Now you see that you were missing some pieces. For some reason I do not have the front wheels, but you get the idea. And if you load it, it'll say load without the, you know, load with the pieces you're missing, and this is what we have. Now, of course, you can still drive this. Absolutely. We are doing it. We can't steer very well, but we can drive. Now, the downside is when you hit something, it's going to kind of, you know, react like something would without any front wheels. So, it is what it is. And, you know, you can build, you can put wheels on there, you can move the guns, you can put the guns on the side, whatever you want to do. Anything you want to do. Now, we're going to go over the garage, the actual building part. Okay, so we're going to start from the top left to the right, and we're just going to go over everything. So right now we are elevating the vehicle, we elevated the camera, and now we are selecting a part. You can do anything you want with said part. We hit the right shoulder, which removed it, and then we hit the left trigger and it copies the part. Moving on. Now, once you do have a part selected, if you hit X, it will rotate it on its axis. This is a vertical rotation. Now, if you hit Y, it will be a horizontal rotation. And either way, it doesn't really matter. You can still put it on there. Now, this here is pretty interesting. This is actually the range of your guns. It shows how much room you need for them to properly traverse. It shows the actual boxes. Very interesting. At any rate, moving on, just get in here, pull right trigger to help, and then just kind of play around with it and see what you can do. Just get in here and just mess around. It's a very powerful vehicle editing tool, no joke. Now, starting here from the storage, you go through here. It shows you every single part you have. These are just general parts. You get these going up levels with different factions. The different stuff, the decoration, things like that you have to buy, or you can get them in different crates. Now, we are going to go left to right. This is your engineers. This is your basic faction. This is what everybody starts with. Whenever you gain a level, you will gain a level in this, and then whatever your other faction is. Now, if you want to build, say for example, this Avenger 57mm, you have to pay the required cost, and in this case, it was just scrap. But a lot of the different weapons, for example, if we take this tire, you need, a certain wheel, and then another wheel, and then a weapons radiator, and you need so much copper, and then you need so much scrap. So just keep that in mind, that the higher weapons you decide to get, the more and more you're going to have to, make. Now, each faction has unique vehicles. You can look at these vehicles, you can take them out, you can try them out, see how they are. Now, you don't have to make these vehicles, obviously. You can make your own thing. That's exactly what this game is all about. But, perhaps these will give you some inspiration, or you'll see one that you're like, listen, I have to have this. This is the only thing I'm going to run. It's amazing. Moving on. Now, what we are looking at now is equipment. This is essentially parts. So, when you level up, you'll receive this, given amount of parts, what have you. And this is going to be the same for whatever faction you decide to choose. Everyone maintains throughout the course of their Crossout career levels in Engineer. That is your basic faction. Now, that being said, the other factions have some awesome, cool stuff, so you kind of want to shoot for those. The first on the list is Lunatics. They like very, very fast cars. They have a lot of melee weapons, meaning grinders, things to tear your car up. They have sticks with explosives on them they can put on their cars. Very awesome. Your Nomads. Your Nomads are big fans of machine guns, miniguns, things like that. That's what you're going to find right there. Drones. Now, your Scavengers typically have the heavier armored stuff. They've got massive guns. They do have a melee weapon right there as well. And this is kind of all of their equipment here. And you have different levels there. You can also go to the purple and the orange. I'm just kind of giving you guys a little idea. The Steppenwolfs are like a prestige class. You have to be level 25, and then you have access to them, and then you can get some of their equipment. This is the top of the line of their equipment in this particular field. Now, granted, of course, you don't have to do this, but for the World of Tank players, this is extremely reminiscent to artillery. So just keep that in mind. Yes, you could target anywhere you would like. Now, granted, of course, the enemy may not be there when you end up firing. Also, when I came out, I did hit 2 small drones. You see they're running around and shooting things up. Now, these drones will go out, engage on their own until they die 30 seconds later. So it's pretty fun. And well, for you, not for the bad guy. Okay, so now moving on, we're going to go to the market here, just kind of explore the market a little bit. This game has a very, very amazing market. You can go through here, you can buy anything, you can sell anything. If you have the coin, you can do whatever you like. Now, it gets, of course, more and more expensive, the more you go, from white, blue, purple, oranger relic, and it's common, rare, epic, legendary, relic. That is the order, and of course, you know, the higher and higher you go, the more expensive things are. But at the same time, the more awesome things are. Now, this game is kind of rated in power score, and that's kind of how it puts you in games. That's how it uses the matchmaking. So, you know, versus World of Tanks has tiers, this kind of has power score. So, kind of think of it like that. Now, granted, of course, you know, your power score, you're always going to be in games relatively close to that. Now, each individual little category here I've been clicking on while I've been discussing this will take you to different things, you know, fuel, wire, scrap, copper, things like that. And once you select it, it'll tell you, you know, how many are for sale, if you'd like to buy them. You know, you've got your history, your offers. Essentially just get in here and play around with these tabs and see what's going on. Now, your storage is your garage. This is what you're pulling from. Now, you know, you're going to have a variety of things, and if you click on one, you can go to salvage and you will get 1 scrap, which it is totally not worth it, considering it takes like $4.50 for 1 weapon. So you could do 2 things. You can sell it. That is immediate cash. You get your coin right away. Or you can trade. Trade means you're going to put it on the open market and see what happens. So we're going to go to trade right now and see if we can't move some of these 57 Avengers. So we're going to sell. Now, if you look on the left there, you see they are selling for 75. I'm going to put mine 1 penny under, and I'm going to sell 2 of them. And let's just find out how fast we can get them. Now, as you see on the list there, we just showed up selling for 74 apiece. Now, Fusion is adding 2 things together to get a different result. Now look, if you look up at the top right, it just sold. Moving on. Now, the only downside is, you know, if you put 2 things together, you're going to have a random effect. And you're going to lose, you're only going to have 1 thing total. So, if you put 2 wheels together, you're going to have 1. 2 guns together, you're going to have 1. So, just keep that in mind. You may not get anything amazing. We've already seen the shop. Now we're going to exhibition. You can kind of scroll through here, see other people's designs, see what's going on, and you know, you may want to build some of these. I know that's how we did mine. Leviathans, once you hit level 17, you can put out a Leviathan here. If you look second from the left, down on the bottom there, let me touch you too. I think everybody's seen some videos from Aspen or seen him in some videos. Now, you can take, you know, these are the ones that you actually post. You can take anything and you can test drive it just to see if you like it. So just keep that in mind. This was one of my previous Leviathans that I really thought was actually kind of hilarious. A massive, massive, massive machine gun build. Now, in this game, machine guns can only fire for a finite time. While we're driving out there, I figured I would mention this. Also, as you see, the machine guns were pointed the opposite direction, so it doesn't matter which direction the machine guns are pointed, because that is their rest place, in other words. But when it comes time to do the firing, they will turn and fire. Moving on. Now, you do have seasonal missions, so you can come through here, you can look at these different ones, see what they do. As you can see here, the end result is 300 scrap, and we have 9 days, 1 hour to finish this quest, and they're going to give you different things to do, so on and so forth. You hit X to start, and then you go through, and you get smaller rewards every single time. Now, if you click right here, it's kind of going to show you, you know, different portraits you can click for your character. Your green bar at the top right there is your gasoline. That is what you need for raids. You're going to use, you know, 20, 40, 100. It just depends. We'll get into that a little bit later. The coins are right below that. That's actually how much money you currently have. As you can see, I'm a little broke. I've only got just a tiny bit, but that's okay. You can always make more. And, you know, if you build something, you can sell it on the market and make some money. So it has a very, very unique economy that a lot of games don't have. They make you buy, their own currency. In this game, you can make currency. So it's pretty exciting stuff for someone who, has always been of a mind you have to, buy the game's money in order to get anything done. Now, this is your timer right here. This is 8 o'clock Eastern. You're going to receive 200 gasoline. It's going to be put directly in your tank, and you're going to get an XP multiplier. And once you run out that XP multiplier, then you have to wait until 8 o'clock Eastern till it comes back again. So we're going to go ahead and play a little game right here. We are going to go down here to the starter car. We are going to select it. We do have every single part we need. We're going to go over here to load, hit X to yes, and now we have our truck. This is our starter truck. We're going to now look at the different missions we can do. Now this is just, regular old missions. You see here on the right, we have numerous different rewards we can get. It's random, as well as scrap. Scrap will happen every single time. Now we're going to look at raids. You have different fuel costs, as you see right here for raids. And on the right, raids are going to get you copper and coupons. Coupons will get you a specialty loot crate that may have a cool weapon or a tire in it, and copper. And then here we have brawls. So the brawls come out, at a very special time once a day, and they are free to play. And as you can see, it's an hour and some change. I made this around 6 o'clock Eastern, so obviously 8 o'clock Eastern is when you would want to check that out. Okay, so all we have to do is just select one of these on the right, and then we're going to hit X, and then boom, all of a sudden we're in the queue. Now, I'm in the queue a little bit, maybe 20-30 seconds, and I'll tell you, normally the queue does not take that long. The game has bots built in, and the bots are known. They're, named Alex and Billy and stuff like that. And even if the game has to put you into the queue late, or into the game late, excuse me, the bots will blow up and you will take their place. So a lot of times if you'll be in a game and you'll see a bot driving around and he explodes, well, congratulations, you actually have a real player. Now, the system does try to make it even, have an even number of human players versus AI. It's has its own issues, just like every other, aspect of matchmaking. Now, essentially, this game is very, very straightforward. You want to destroy the other enemy or capture the other enemy's base. Now, that being said, if you manage to have one bar of the top there, those two little circles, if you have one bar of that filled and the game timer runs out, you have capped their base for a little bit and then, got killed or decided to run off, and it would normally be a draw, then boom, you would win. Because that's, how the capping is just a little bit different. So obviously, if you've got two of those little bars versus somebody who has one at the end of the game, then, you would still win. And obviously 3 means, yeah, the game's over, we've capped. So I'm just kind of throwing that out there. Now, this game, to be successful, you kind of have to, hang in the back, let the team kind of do the work for you. I'm a fan of this always. If you have machine guns, your job in this game is pretty much to shoot off other people's weapons. As you can see, we're trying to give it a shot there. Now, your life's blood in this game is your cabin, so you want to make sure it is extremely well protected. Put a lot of plate around it. Now, granted, of course, I did not. And, because we're just kind of going out here trying to show how to play this game, the general mechanics. And as you notice, there's a lot of bot players on our team. I mean, you can always tell them because they're, Lee and Billy and Jim, Ashley, what have you. So, anyway, it's a very, very fun game. I would highly recommend you go out there, give it a shot. As you can see there, our reward was 11 scrap. There's a few different missions you can do to get 200 scrap. So, yeah, there's a lot going on there. you can check out the stats. And, you know, it's all relative. You'll get more and more reputation the better off you do. Guys, I really hope you enjoy. Look for more Crossout videos. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.